Imagine two people starting with the same talent, the same age, the same opportunities. One spends the day jumping between notifications, messages, reels, and endless distractions. The other disappears for a few hours every day. No notifications, no interruptions, just complete focus. 1 year later, their lives look completely different. The scary part? The difference wasn't intelligence. It wasn't luck. It was focus. And according to the book Deep Work, focus is becoming one of the rarest and most valuable skills in the world. Today, you'll discover the few ideas from this book that create most of the results. These are the principles that can help you learn faster, earn more, create better work, and achieve more in less time. If you're tired of feeling busy but not moving forward, this might be one of the most important videos you'll ever watch. And if you're someone who wants practical wisdom that actually changes your life, subscribe now, because that's exactly what this channel is built for. Most people believe success comes from working harder, but that's not true. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while dozens of holes leak from the bottom. That's how most people work. They sit for 8 hours, but every few minutes they check their phone. A message arrives, a notification appears, a random thought sends them to YouTube, then Instagram, then another app. Their attention gets sliced into hundreds of tiny pieces. At the end of the day, they feel exhausted, but almost nothing meaningful was created. This is what Newport calls shallow work. Work that keeps you busy but rarely changes your future. Now imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. Every strike of the hammer lands on the same piece of metal, again and again and again. All energy is concentrated. That's deep work. A state where your full attention is focused on one important task without distraction. And here's the shocking truth. In today's world, because so few people can focus deeply, anyone who masters this skill gains an enormous advantage. Think about it. When everyone is distracted, focus becomes a superpower. When everyone is scrolling, concentration becomes a competitive advantage. When everyone is reacting, creation becomes rare. The book explains a simple formula. The quality of your work depends on how long you can focus and how intensely you can focus. A distracted hour is not equal to a focused hour. 1 hour of deep work can outperform an entire day of fragmented attention. This explains something many people experience. Have you ever spent 6 hours studying but learned very little? Then on another day, you focused completely for 1 hour and learned more than the entire previous day? The difference wasn't time. The difference was depth. Now, here's where the story becomes interesting. Most people think they can multitask. They think switching between tasks is harmless. But research shows that every time you switch your attention, a residue of your previous task remains in your mind. Part of your brain is still thinking about the last thing. This means even after returning to your work, your attention is not fully there. It's like trying to run a race while dragging chains behind you. You may still move forward, but much slower than you could. This is why checking your phone for just a few seconds can destroy the quality of an entire study session. The interruption itself isn't the biggest problem. The mental residue is. And once you understand this, you'll never look at distractions the same way again. Imagine a young archer preparing for a competition. Every day people call his name. Every day someone asks for his attention. Every day there are easier things to do. But he keeps aiming at the target, day after day, month after month. While everyone else is chasing every shiny object, he is strengthening a single skill. Eventually, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. This is exactly how deep work works. Small sessions of focused effort seem insignificant at first, but over time, they create extraordinary results. The problem is that modern technology is designed to steal attention. Every notification competes for your focus. Every platform wants a piece of your mind. Every distraction feels small, but together, they quietly consume your life. Think about how many times you unlock your phone without a reason. Not because you need something, not because it's important, just because your brain wants stimulation. That's not an accident. Your attention has become one of the most valuable resources in the world, and countless companies are competing to capture it. The book suggests something powerful. Instead of treating focus as something that happens naturally, treat it like a skill. Because skills improve with practice. A weightlifter trains muscles, a runner trains endurance. A focused person trains attention. At first, concentrating for 30 minutes feels difficult. Your mind wants to wander. You feel restless. You want stimulation. But that's exactly why the practice matters. Every time you resist distraction, you're strengthening your ability to focus. Every time you return your attention to the task, you're training your brain. Over time, concentration becomes easier, and eventually, what once felt impossible becomes normal. Now let's talk about one of the most valuable ideas in the entire book. Boredom. Most people fear boredom. The moment they have nothing to do, they reach for their phone. Waiting in line? Phone. Sitting alone? Phone. 5 free minutes? Phone. But here's the hidden cost. When you constantly feed your brain stimulation, you train it to expect stimulation all the time. Then, when it's time to focus on something difficult, your brain rebels. Deep work requires concentration. Concentration requires patience. Patience requires the ability to tolerate boredom. This means every moment you resist unnecessary distractions, you're actually strengthening your focus muscle. The people who can sit quietly with their thoughts often gain an enormous advantage over those who constantly need entertainment, because creativity lives on the other side of boredom. Great ideas rarely arrive when you're endlessly scrolling. They arrive when your mind finally has space to think. Now imagine waking up tomorrow with one decision. For the next 2 hours, you will focus on the most important thing in your life. No notifications, no messages, no distractions. Just complete attention. What could happen in those 2 hours? You could learn a valuable skill, build a business, write a book, study for an exam, create content, solve a problem, improve your future. Now, imagine repeating that every day for a year. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish with consistent, deep work, because they measure progress day by day. But real transformation happens month by month, year by year. Small, focused efforts compound into extraordinary outcomes. The book teaches that success is often less about doing more things and more about doing fewer things with greater intensity. This is the heart of the 80-20 principle hidden inside deep work. You don't need to work all day. You need to protect the small amount of time that creates most of your results. A few hours of deep work often produce more value than an entire day of shallow activity. That's the secret. Not more hours, better hours. Not more tasks, better focus. Not more effort, more depth. Look around. Most people are becoming more distracted every year. But that creates an opportunity. Because every person who learns deep work becomes more valuable, more skilled, more productive, more creative, more capable of building an extraordinary life. The future belongs to those who can focus while everyone else is distracted. And the best part? You don't need special talent to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need more motivation. You only need one decision. Protect your attention, because your attention becomes your actions become your habits become your future. And your future is being shaped by what you choose to focus on today. The next time you reach for your phone, ask yourself one question. Am I creating my future? Or am I donating my attention to someone else's? The answer to that question may change everything.